Hey guys, it's Stacy from My Petite Garden. Thank you so much for stopping by again, or welcome if you're new here. In today's video, I wanted to share with you some of the plants in my collection that I found are consistently easy care, easygoing, and demands very little from me to stay happy. The reason why I want to do this video is because currently in my stage of life, as many of you may know, I just don't have the time or energy to allocate to plants and plant chores and plant care as I used to. So for me, it's very important that the plants that I do keep in my collection are very easygoing and don't really require a lot to stay happy and thriving. So I wanted to share this with you. If any of you are also looking for similar type plants, or maybe you just don't have the time to allocate to plants as well, I hope you find some inspiration from this and see if you have any plants here that you might want to add to your own collection. So let's get started. All right, guys, so before we start, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. I think I have about 6 plants that I want to highlight in this video, and each of these plants are plants that have been, like I mentioned before, consistently low maintenance for me. There are some plants that I have that are low maintenance during some seasons, but then other seasons they tend to require a little bit more care. So those are not the ones that I'll be talking about today. The ones that I am including in this video are ones that are unconditionally easy care and low maintenance, at least for me in my home. So let's get started. The first plant I'm going to mention is this one right here next to me. This is my Rhipsalis pilocarpa. I've had this probably the longest out of the 6 plants that I'm going to mention, and it's probably one of the oldest plants that I have in my home in general. When I first got it, it was really just a tiny little plant. If I could find a picture of it, I will put it on the screen. The plant is currently sitting off to the side. I don't know if you could tell. It's like off to the side of my south-facing window. So during the afternoon and a little bit in the morning, it does get quite a bit of light. So if you look on this side of the plant that's facing the window, you'll see that it has some coloration to it. And if you give this plant enough light, it will show off some beautiful orange and reds. Next is my Thaumatophyllum xanadu. This one has grown really beautifully and it's huge. You can see the size of the leaves on this one. It has been sizing up tremendously and consistently. This one I have sitting in front of my west-facing window in my bedroom, and it doesn't get a lot of light even though it is in front of a west-facing window, because I do have curtains that I don't open all the way because I do have books on the shelf as well. And I think it's just the right amount of light for this plant because it is growing very happily. I've also had it in the same pot that I first potted it into. Next is one of my caudex plants. This is the Phyllanthus mirabilis. This one has been just so amazing for me. Usually with caudex plants, you cut them back and then it goes into a dormancy period, but for me, for some reason, this particular one doesn't seem to stop growing. Every time I cut it back, no matter what season it is, it will immediately shoot out new leaves. And I just thought that was very interesting. If any of you also have this caudex plant, please let me know what your experience has been. The leaves on this one also turn a beautiful autumnal color if you give it enough light. Otherwise, the leaves will lean more towards a green color. In terms of watering, I give it a little bit of water once a week. Next is my Peperomia kimnachii. The one you're seeing here is actually a cutting off of my mother plant that I will show you in a little bit. I actually have a few of these plants around my home, and I really love this plant because it is so easy to propagate and it grows so well under very little care. All it needs is a little bit of water each week, and I give it bright and direct light, but I think it'll do fine in medium light as well. And because the leaves are very succulent-like, it can tolerate a bit of drought as well. So this Peperomia is actually perfect for those of you who are underwaterers. This one here is my mother plant that I've been taking all my cuttings from and making all my little plants from. I love the way it grows. It's a beautiful trailing plant, and it is, like I said, very easy care. The leaves grow in this cluster pattern that makes it look like a little flower, and it's so dainty and cute. Next is my Cissus quadrangularis. This is probably the most unique one out of everything on the list today, and I love the way these segments grow. I don't know if you call them leaves, but these changed segments are just so unique, and I almost can't believe that this plant grows out in nature. It has very succulent segment or leaves, therefore it is very drought tolerant. I water this just a little bit each week, and as you can see, it is very full in this pot and can definitely use a repotting, but it still seems pretty happy, so I will get to repotting it probably very soon. In terms of lighting, it gets east-facing light, which I think it really enjoys, so I think I'm gonna just keep it here for as long as I can. Last but not least is my Philodendron callosum. I have mentioned in my houseplant tour video that this is my favorite plant right now that I have in my collection, and it is also one of the easiest plants to care for. I water this once a week thoroughly, and it sits on my east-facing bay window, and it's very happy here. The only thing to note is that this is a crawling philodendron, so just make sure you give it a wide enough pot or maybe a rectangular pot so it has enough space to continually grow and crawl. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. That'll be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I love hearing from you all. And if you're new here and you would like to stick around, I really appreciate it if you subscribed. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!